Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing very well. My name is Nora and today I'll be presenting about Surrealism. In this presentation, I'll be going over Surrealism and its history, then we will look over some examples of Surrealist artworks and artists. So first, let's go over what the Surrealism art movement is and the history surrounding the movement. So what is Surrealism? Surrealism is an art movement that surrounds the concept of abstraction of the human mind and imagination. The movement also highly opposes the logical reasoning that was common in Europe. But how did the movement start? The Surrealism movement started in France by a French poet, André Breton, in the early 1930s. Breton wanted to highlight that the human mind was chaotic and filled with forbidden fantasies, desires, and violent impulses that are kept within the unconscious mind. In 1934, Breton wrote, "We still live under the rule of logic," and so he wanted to break this rule by studying the darkness, demented, and raw parts of the human mind. This is what began the Surrealism movement. Okay, so now that we know what Surrealism is, let's explore some artworks and artists that were part of the movement. The first artwork we'll look at is the Luncheon in Fur by Meret Oppenheim. This work was inspired when Oppenheim had lunch with Picasso. At the time, Oppenheim was wearing a fur bracelet, and Picasso then commented on how everything can be covered in fur, to which Oppenheim replied, "Even this cup and saucer." This artwork is an example of two very different things that don't belong with each other, and they harmonize to create a humorous and disturbing juxtaposition. The next artwork we'll look at today is Salvador Dali's Birth of Liquid Desires. Dali's work are typically inspired by the realm of his dreams and or nightmares. This artwork is an example of that type of inspiration. He was inspired to create this work because of his anxiety towards his father. This anxiety began because his father had rejected his relationship with his then future wife, Gala Edouard. Finally, we'll look at composition by Joan Miro. To create this work, Miro was influenced by collage work, some of his doodles, and children's artworks. Composition is a great example of automatism, which is a term that is part of the Surrealism movement. As told by Tate Kids, automatism is essentially art made without thinking. This includes doing doodles unconsciously. In fact, that's what made Miro interested in doing this work. As said before, he is also inspired by children's artwork as he loves the spontaneity and expressiveness of their artworks. Surrealism is an art movement that celebrates the weird bizarreness that is within all of us, so we should all continue to embrace and let go of the peculiar side of our minds to heighten our creativity even further. Thanks for listening. Here's a list of all the wonderful resources I've used to complete this presentation. I hope you all enjoyed my presentation, and I hope that your day is filled with marvelous wonders.